The book is called Real Happiness, and the author is a leading meditation and spiritual teacher, and she has co-founded the Insight Meditation Society. So nice to have you with us today. Welcome to Sharon Salzberg.
Thank you so much.
And I'm soaking in the happiness just sitting next to you.
It's kind of early for happiness.
It is early. I know. I've had to get used to this. But, you know, happiness is not elusive. It's actually something we can work on every day. And from reading the book, I realized that there are ways to make it happen. You just have to find the time and make it a priority. So tell us a little bit first about your background.
Well, I grew up in New York City, and when I was a college student, I went to India. That was in the early 70s. I went to study meditation, actually, as part of my school.
Okay.
Which is kind of incredible, looking back. But while I was there, I really got very deeply involved in meditation and study, and then came back and began teaching.
Eat, pray, love. That's what it reminds. I mean, sometimes you have to seek another place to seek the happiness within. And you have 3 top things that you say meditation is not. And I want to go over that because I think people have their own preconceived notions of meditation, and it would be good for you to share that. So what it's not.
Okay, well, I think it's not necessarily religion. It doesn't have to be tied to a belief system at all.
Great. Especially
Especially nowadays when there's so much science and so much research. People are often pursuing it without a faith context, and that's great. It doesn't mean stopping your thinking. I meet so many people who say, I can't do that. I can't stop thinking.
I can't shut down.
That's right. And it doesn't really mean that at all. And also, it doesn't demand, like, huge study and background and preparation. Anybody's capable of doing it if we put the time in.
So right away, off the bat, you're dispelling things that people might be, you know, inclined to worry about before going into something like this or even reading the book. So it's good for them to know that it doesn't have to be about religion. It doesn't have to be about practice. And I think that's really important to note. But let's talk now, on the other hand, what it actually is.
Yeah. I think of meditation as a skills training. It's training in, first of all, concentration, because most of us find ourselves kind of scattered, distracted all over the place.
Absolutely.
We kind of settle our attention, we bring it together, and we have a much greater sense of being centered and present. And it's a training in mindfulness, so we can actually connect to our experience. And, you know, say we're having a difficult, uncomfortable feeling, we might right away start thinking, what's it going to feel like tomorrow? What's it going to feel like the next day? And so we're just adding all of that on top of what's happening. So we learn more to be with things as they actually are.
And that's so interesting and so true, and especially with technology today and everything that's around us and always wanting to multitask, it is very hard to find that concentration and just focus on your feelings in the moment. And I think that's a really good point that you make. Now, one of the things you talk about in the book I thought was really interesting is how to incorporate these meditation moments into our day. Because that's the biggest objection I have had myself is, I don't have time, I can't even have time to sleep. How do I have time to meditate? So talk to the naysayers about that.
Yeah, I think that's also a very common feeling. And if you think, well, I don't have 2 hours to give to this, an extra 2 hours, of course, it's impossible. But I say, well, let's work toward 20 minutes as a formal practice, but also these moments. Things like maybe don't pick up your phone on the first ring. Let it ring 3 times and breathe and just kind of settle. Then pick it up. Things that don't take really a long time, but make a difference.
And you also mentioned write it down. Write down in your planner the way you would write down brushing your teeth, or the way you know to brush your teeth, but the way you know to do other things in your life. You write it down, and then it becomes part of your pattern and your habits.
That's right. And maybe set aside a place where, I mean, you don't have to, of course. If you don't happen to be there, you can still meditate, but maybe set aside a place and make it beautiful, make it your own.
Your own special space and a calming. And what's really great is that tonight you're actually going to be talking about the book at a workshop event. It's from 7 to 9 at the Unity Spiritual Center, 9800 Candelaria Road, Northeast. And again, the book is called Real Happiness. And where can people get the book?
I hope anywhere.
Yes, I hope so too. What I also want to mention real quickly is that the book includes a CD with 4 guided meditations, so you actually have the CD to listen to at night as well. Thank you, Sharon Salzberg, so much for being with us. Thanks for bringing the happiness. And we are back after the break with a skin rejuvenation treatment called Trinity. Stick around for outstanding skin.